Hi, I'm the digital avatar of Iris Kaminer. AI is everywhere. But for product managers, the real advantage isn't just using public LLMs. It's knowing when those models aren't enough. Public LLMs are powerful, but they're trained on static data. Their answers can be outdated or even incorrect. RAG fixes that by pulling answers directly from your trusted sources. And the best part? Product managers don't need engineering support to try it. In this video, I'll show how product managers can prototype and test a RAG feature using no-code tools before it ever reaches development. RAG stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation. The AI retrieves relevant passages from a pre-built external knowledge base, then uses them to generate an answer. A vector database is the backbone of any RAG system. It's what enables the AI to store and retrieve knowledge based on meaning, not just keywords. Here's how it works. First, your documents are split into smaller chunks. Each chunk is converted into an embedding, basically a numeric fingerprint that represents its meaning. These vector embeddings are then indexed and stored in the vector database. Then, when someone asks a question, the system doesn't just look for matching keywords, it searches for similar meaning using vector similarity and retrieves the most relevant chunks from the database. Understanding when to use RAG is the key to applying it effectively. RAG is the right choice when accuracy is critical, like with laws, manuals, or scientific guidance. Information changes often, such as internal wikis or product updates. The data is private, such as client documents or configuration files. The wording must be exact, for example, in contracts or company policies. Hallucinations are unacceptable, especially in legal, pricing, or safety scenarios. Here's the exciting part. With no-code tools like N8N or Zapier workflow engines and vector databases like Supabase or Pinecone, product managers can now build and test RAG workflows on their own. No code needed. This means you can validate both the feasibility and business value of a RAG-powered feature before it ever reaches the development backlog. Let's imagine a chatbot designed specifically to answer questions about the EU AI regulations. Without RAG, a regular LLM might paraphrase or even make things up. But with RAG, it responds using the exact wording from the regulation, complete with citations. Now let's see it in action. I've built a no-code RAG workflow in N8N connected to a Supabase vector database. The demo has two main flows, the RAG pipeline workflow that loads the data into the vector database. The data is chunked, the embedding is then created and stored in the Supabase vector store. The RAG agent workflow is a chatbot interface that asks the AI agent questions based on data stored in the vector database. In order to maintain context during a chat conversation, the agent includes also a Postgres memory database. Here are the steps of the workflow. Load the EU AI Act PDF. This is a 144-page document that contains all the EU AI regulations. Then N8N chunks and embeds the document information. We use here OpenAI's embedding model to perform the embedding. Please note that to use this model is not covered by standard ChatGPT licenses, and you need to buy token credits in the OpenAI platform. As part of the N8N flow, the Supabase vector database stores the embeddings as numeric vectors. Here we see in the Supabase RAG demo database the embedding that were stored for the EU AI chunked document. Now it's time to test the RAG agent. In the chat prompt, I'll ask, list the required obligations for high-risk AI providers, along with the corresponding article numbers. Looking at the agent configuration, you'll notice that it's instructed to respond in plain, easy-to-understand language, and to include citations with every answer. Let's activate the agent. It will connect directly to the embeddings database generated earlier in the RAG pipeline flow and start retrieving relevant context for our queries. The response comes back in clear layman's terms, and just as instructed, every obligation is paired with its corresponding article number. We can also see that the new session has been recorded in the Postgres RAG agent database, ensuring the full context of the conversation is preserved. Here's the bottom line. RAG turns AI into AI with receipts, grounded in real sources instead of guesswork. Use it when answers need to be trusted, current, sourced, precise, or private. And here's the real game changer for product managers. With tools like N8N and Supabase, you don't have to wait for engineering to explore RAG. You can prototype the experience yourself, test if customers actually find it valuable, and prove the case before it goes into the backlog. RAG makes AI reliable, and now PMs can independently validate that reliability.